In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I built my $1,000 PC, and it's step by step so you guys can copy what I did. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be doing a benchmarking so you guys can see how it runs. Now with this PC build, I just went straight blacked out. Personally, I like it. Obviously it still has the RGB, has the RAM sticks and the LED fans, or RGB fans, my fault. But I really like how this build turned out, and if you want more, you can change it. I'm saying, like, you can change all the stylistics. I don't really go for how it looks. How it performs is what I care about. Alright, so enough talking. Let's get into how I built this thing. So for the RAM sticks, I went with two Kingston Fury Beast, 8 gigabytes of RAM each, DDR5, for around $92 on Amazon, brand new. So for the storage, I went with the MSI Spatium NVMe M.2 drive for 1 terabyte, and it went for around $44, brand new. So for the brains of the computer, I went with a Intel Core i5-13400F, 10 cores, and they go for around $207. So we got a B760 Gaming AX as the motherboard. This supports up to DDR5. It has the Wi-Fi. So if you're not running LAN, you can just do Wi-Fi connection, and an M.2, yeah, and PCIe 2. So with all these parts, you can change them. If you don't want to use this motherboard, sure all your parts are compatible with each other. I know there's a bunch of websites out there that you can check that for you. I use this for this actual PC build because the case that I wanted to get in the beginning didn't work. It did work, but it was out, so I had to go and look for a different one. And I found this one, the Game DS, and it worked out perfectly because I like how it looks. It's the style I was looking for. So here I'm setting up the camera so you guys can see how I'm setting up the CPU, basically the brains of the camera. And so you're gonna see a gold arrow on one of the corners, and it's going to line up with the arrow on the motherboard. I just showed you it right there. I kind of pointed at it. And you just want to make sure it's in there. I was kind of struggling. I was just scared because I did not want to mess this up. This is like an expensive part. You can leave the cover on, it doesn't matter, it'll pop off anyways. And this part is gonna be a little hard, and you're gonna think you're breaking it, and you're not. Don't worry about that. But I placed it in, and it worked out fine. Now I'm setting up the RAM sticks. Each one has 8 gigabytes. So you're gonna want to set them up so you can utilize them more, like you can use the lives to their full potential. So you're going to want to send it to the second one and the fourth one. You're gonna want to click it into them. Make sure you line up your notches with the motherboard, and then you gotta press down. It's gonna be a little hard, but trust me, you're fine. And make sure both clips are off. Here I'm trying to show you the first slide. I'll put a picture and you guys will understand. But how it travels through the RAM, it can sometimes get stuck into one RAM slot if you have all of them there. So I'll send up a picture right now. So I can't really find the picture that depicts it or shows it, but you're gonna want those two so it runs in dual channel mode, so you get the most performance out of them, and that's why you would pick those two. Now I'm taking off the cover for the storage, the M.2 drive, and on the cover you're gonna want to make sure you take off this little plastic wrap before you do anything. Well, before you reinstall it. Now, I'll say I was a little bit lost because there was more on the bottom and I was confused. I did not know which one to put it, but obviously I knew that I had to put it in that one. I got scared right there because I thought I broke it, but that was fine. Like, these parts aren't like really fragile that you're gonna break them. Then just a little tap or something, you'll be fine. You don't have to, be super careful with them, but still obviously be careful with them because they're pretty expensive parts. So here we have the ID Cooling XTS Black CPU cooler. I went with the black one. There is one that has RGB fans on it, so you can add more RGB with it, but I just chose all black because I enjoy just not having that much RGB. And I was confused at first trying to set this up, but it was pretty easy. You guys will see what I'm talking about. So here is the back plate for the CPU holder. You will have to turn it around the motherboard and place it in. You have to make sure this, like, you're placing it in correctly. I had struggled placing it in. I got scared again. But I mean, it's really easy. It's not nothing complicated. It's just I was just scared. I don't know why. But this does bring a lot of parts that, like, extra, like these little things that I was trying to show, but I just took it off camera for some reason. But I placed in the wrong ones. I don't know what these are for exactly. I'm pretty sure it's for other motherboards, but yeah, I placed completely wrong ones, and I'll show you which one the good ones are, like the ones that you're supposed to use. So here I took the top screws off so I can place these plates back on, those plates that connect both of them, and they hold basically the CPU cooler. So for the GPU, I went with an AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT. The reason I went with this one, you can find cheap. I got this for $250 off Mercari, and it was such a good deal. I mean, you can probably find it literally anywhere. It's a good budget build, a good budget GPU. It's like a good build to performance. And don't do what I did here and place the GPU on the motherboard before you place the motherboard into the case, because you're gonna have trouble placing the whole thing into the case. So for the case, I went with the Game Diaz RGB ATX tower. It's a cheap budget one. It's $70 and it's perfect. It has everything you need. So for the power supply, with how good the market is, I went with the PVA ATX PR 800 watts. Since this PC doesn't take many watts, you should that literally does enough for everything. So now I'm putting everything in. Obviously, I took the GPU off because I was like, oh, yeah, it's not working. Because I couldn't put it in with the GPU on the motherboard already. So I'm putting the screws in to make sure it's intact because I don't want this falling out on me. And yeah, just make sure you're using the right screws because I was using the completely wrong screws and I was having a hard time. I thought I messed it up, but I didn't. It's fine. Now I'm setting up the power supply. Make sure you get the fan facing down because that's where you exhaust the all the heat. Basically, you exhaust it out of the computer. You don't want that coming back into your computer. Obviously, make sure you're using the right screws again. I think I used the right screws. I don't think I messed up, but no, I might have used the wrong screws. Now you're gonna want to put the GPU in. I first put it in to test fit to see which back parts I have to break off. I think I had to break off two, and I had to move that little thing because it's like a safety, not a safety, but I don't know what it does. But I had to, yeah. This is me test fitting it so I could see which ones I have to break off. Sorry, my head is in the way, but you'll see in a second. I found out which ones I had to break off, and yeah. So I put back the screws and I plugged in the GPU already to the motherboard. And make sure, because mine had to break off two. I had to break off two for mine, and I only put one the first time. So make sure. Now comes the cable management before you get to the main cable management part. You want to connect everything and make sure it's all good. This part I would recommend to search it up because I did not do a good job showing you how stuff goes. And so I'm kind of gonna just skip through this because I really don't know how to explain it to you and show you because I did a bad job there. I didn't really show you guys, but I bought extension cables off Amazon for around 20 bucks. They're the Easy DIY PCU cable extensions. And they just make the computer look more clean and just perfect. I mean, if I'm going to be using this computer for a while, I at least want it to look good. They have combs in them, so the wire stays straight. And you can see this is when I first plugged in. I was like, it's not working. And I had forgot to turn on the switch. But see here, This is why I'm saying I did a bad job in the wiring, because the fans didn't even turn on. So I had to make sure which ones was which. Now, these are the videos that I recorded for the benchmarking. Problem is, you can see where I put my face cam was the worst decision of my life. Why would I put it in the same corner where the benchmarking is at? It literally makes no sense. I mean, literally, look at this clip. Look at this clip right here. Just watch. Just watch. I'll be quiet.
Kill. Wait, what? I was about to say if I didn't kill him. Nice. So, okay, I was recording myself last clip, but as I was saying, what I missed? Holy shit, I suck. I suck. I suck. Oh, I gotta get out of this DC. Hold on. I'm in this Discord. There we go. Disconnect. Alright, anyways. Anyways.
Heartbeat sensor activated.
The clan. Anyways, depending on what map you play, you'll get varying FPS, but usually on this map, maybe 200. Every other map, yeah, around 200 as well. So, yeah. Go ahead. I'm just better. Like, I lied. This shipment. Yeah. This is a bigger map. I missed. How are you at 7 kills? Now I gotta reload for 5 years. I can't, I'm stuck Where's everybody? I could not find nobody. That was a headshot. Wow. Yoko. Yoko has to be the worst. So wrong. We're getting 160, 150. I'll say 150 would be mid. I would play Modern Warfare 3.
Zombie Royale.
This game.
The last team living will be cleared for
Nice.
exfil.
But whatever.
Be careful. The gas does not affect the undead.
There's some type of monster here.
Hostiles dropping into the area. Sky.
This guy like molested from every angle. That was not even fair.
You're infected. Locate antivirus for the cure.
I really like this movie more.
Squad mate has been infected. Locate antivirus.
Yum.
A member of your squad is infected.
Hey,
They're
sometimes I
redeploying
don't
as an
listen
undead
to
friend. Enemy dropping into the
I'm trying
AO.
to find how to get to this antiviral.
You've located an antivirus. You need multiple doses to cure the infection. Antiviral secure. Find more to cure the infection.
Why does he have?
One more and you're
That
cured.
was close. You're so lucky.
Welcome back, soldier.
If I didn't get the 4 antivirals right there, I would have been dead. That would have been game. Nah, I would have been fine, but
Gas is moving
oh,
in.
he dead.
New safe
'Cause
zone
it's-
located.
yeah, that's right. Because the sun's coming in. Bro, there's nothing but pistols. Stop.
Undead threats are returning to the war zone. Stay frosty. Bounty target group has been marked. Kill them all. A
There's
member of
so
your squad
many
is
antivirals
redeploying
here,
as an
I'm not gonna
undead
lie, this is a bad
operator.
spot. Oh, I knocked somebody? He got one shot headshot though.
You got gas moving in. A squad mate cured their infection.
so lame.